You know, when we think of the Cold War, we usually picture spies, tense standoffs, maybe the Berlin Wall. But there's this whole other side to it, a much scarier and kind of hidden chapter. We're going to dive into the chilling story of America's lost nukes, the ones that almost went off by accident.
Okay, first I want you to picture a weapon. Not just any weapon, but one that's 260 times more powerful than the bomb that flattened Hiroshima. Just let that sink in for a second.
Now, what if that exact weapon almost detonated right over the US East Coast? We're talking lethal fallout that could have reached New York City, millions of lives on the line.
And nope, this isn't some Hollywood script. This is the real story of what the military calls a broken arrow, their code for a nuclear weapons accident. And believe me, this was just one of many.
All right, let's start in Goldsboro, North Carolina. The date is January 24th, 1961. What started as just another routine flight was about to become an absolute nightmare.
So, you've got this B-52 bomber in the sky, right? It springs a massive fuel leak and starts breaking apart, right there in midair. As the plane is tumbling out of control, the G-forces are so intense they actually trigger the bomb release mechanism, just as if someone had done it on purpose. And poof, 2 hydrogen bombs are now falling towards the ground. One of them, its parachute opens up and it just floats down. The other one, it just plummets nose first into a field.
Okay, so when the recovery teams get to that bomb, the one that parachuted down, what they find is just horrifying. The bomb had gone through almost its entire arming sequence. Out of 4 safety mechanisms, 3 of them had failed. A firing signal was actually sent to the core. The only thing that stopped a 4-megaton explosion was one single, tiny, low-voltage switch. That's it. That's how close it was. And the scary part? This wasn't a one-off thing.
Yeah, that Goldsboro incident is a textbook example of a broken arrow. And really, it was a direct consequence of just how unbelievably tense things were during the Cold War.
So what exactly is a broken arrow? Well, it's the official term for any unexpected event involving a nuke, whether it's accidentally launched, fired, lost, or stolen. The Pentagon itself admits to 32 of these incidents. 32 times where the most dangerous weapon on Earth was put at risk.
So why was this happening? Well, the big fear was a surprise attack from the Soviet Union. To counter that, the US had this program called Operation Chrome Dome. It meant nuclear-armed bombers were flying 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The goal was instant retaliation. Readiness was everything. But when you're pushing the limits like that, constantly, you're just creating more and more chances for something to go horribly wrong.
And those risks, they absolutely became reality over and over again. You can just see the pattern here. The period from the late 50s to the late 60s was just incredibly perilous. You have Goldsboro in 61, then in 66, a mid-air collision over Palomares, Spain, literally contaminates a village with plutonium. Then just 2 years after that, a B-52 crashes near Greenland, spreading radioactive gunk all over the place. These weren't just oops moments, they were major international disasters.
And you know what's really wild? A lot of these world-ending close calls didn't come from some super complex system failure. Nope, they came down to something much simpler, and maybe even scarier: good old-fashioned human error. Just take a look at these 2 accidents, both from 1958. On one hand, you have Mars Bluff, South Carolina. A crewman on a bomber is just reaching for something to hold on to, and he accidentally grabs the bomb release switch. An actual nuclear bomb falls into a family's backyard. The conventional explosives go off, creating this massive 35-foot crater. Luckily, thankfully, the nuclear core wasn't in that one. But then you have Tybee Island, Georgia, just a month before. A mid-air collision forces a B-47 to ditch its H-bomb into the ocean just to save the plane. They searched and never found it. It's still out there, somewhere, to this day.
And this wasn't just an American problem. The danger definitely didn't stop at the US border. In 1966, an accident over Spain really drove home the global scale of these broken arrow incidents. So picture this. Over a small village in Spain called Palomares, a B-52 is trying to refuel in midair. Something goes wrong and it collides with the tanker plane. A massive fireball erupts. The B-52 breaks apart and its payload, 4 hydrogen bombs, starts falling. 2 of them hit the ground so hard their conventional triggers explode, spraying radioactive plutonium all over this village. A 3rd bomb is found, thankfully, pretty much intact. But the 4th one, it's just gone, vanished into the Mediterranean.
What followed was this epic 80-day search. And the whole thing, this massive military operation,
hinged on one guy, a local fisherman, Francisco Sima Orts. He was the one who saw where it went in. So for 2.5 months, the US Navy is just desperately searching the seafloor. Finally, the little submersible Alvin spots it, almost 3,000 feet down. They then used a remote-controlled vehicle to attach some lines and incredibly managed to pull it back up.
So you can imagine, right? After you've accidentally dusted a NATO ally with plutonium and almost lost an H-bomb in the sea, the political fallout was, well, immense.
The Palomares incident was a huge international embarrassment. And when that was followed by yet another crash, this time in Greenland in '68, that was pretty much the last straw. The Secretary of Defense, Robert McNamara, had to pull the plug on Operation Chrome Dome. The risk of another accident and the terrible PR that came with it was just too high.
So when you look back at all of this, yeah, the engineering was amazing. Those safety switches, they did their job. Sometimes. But you just can't get around the fact that pure chance, just plain luck, played a massive role. It's like what nuclear weapons analyst Stephen Schwartz said, and he really hit the nail on the head. We have to give a lot of credit to plain old dumb luck.
The Cold War might feel like ancient history now, but those nuclear weapons, they're still here. And hearing these stories, these broken arrows, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? It leaves us with a pretty sobering question. How much of our safety today still just comes down to luck?